Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Bill, you need to slide over just a little. There you go. There's John.
I had to go out and turn off my water.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. John had to jump in between me and Bill tonight. It's going to be a rambunctious show.
Stay back.
Oh man.
Got my first tomato this week, so I'm kind of happy about that.
Oh, okay. So it's starting to become tomato season?
Starting to become tomato season. My serrano peppers came in about 2 weeks ago. My jalapeno came in about the same time. I've got a Porto Blanco pepper. It's a spicy bell pepper, basically.
Yeah.
It's real close. I'm going to let it sit on the bush for a little bit longer. And I should have half a dozen tomatoes this week. So I'm kind of oh, and my habanero pepper bush is starting to make habanero peppers.
Well, remember, there's a bug in this area that eats the habanero plants.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had beetles, these little goldy silver green beetles, on my basil leaves. I keep catching them trying to eat my basil.
My neighbor used to grow ghost peppers in big, huge whiskey barrels on his porch, and him and his wife would sit out on the porch at night in the summertime. There was never one mosquito around there because of those ghost peppers.
Let's see, our catnip's coming up too, and our entire fish pond is surrounded by spearmint. So I'm gonna have to start making mojitos.
Good what?
So I'm gonna
no cattails?
No, I don't have any cattails. No. I don't even know if the big pond down the road has it. Hey Donna, do we know if Dan and Stephanie made it into town yet?
Dan is at the hotel and says he's got no Wi-Fi. He's got Wi-Fi, but there's just no internet.
Oh. Wi-Fi with no connection.
Meaning they he's probably not going to pay for internet reception in there, or use his data from his phone. And
Let's see if he had that in his vehicle. He could sit out in his vehicle and talk to us.
Yeah. Oh.
So, a couple this day in history things. One, this guy right here, Geronimo, it's his birthday. He was born in 1829. And we all know about the raids that Geronimo went on. Eventually with the United States, but it started off with Mexico, because the Mexicans came, raided their camps, and not only killed a lot of their leaders, but women and children first. So Geronimo, who was typically a very laid-back dude, he became the man that he was known to be because of that. So he went on a lot of raids in Mexico and southwestern United States because of that. Of course, he surrendered to U.S. forces, I think 3 times, maybe. And eventually he would end up going on the Wild West show with Buffalo Bill Cody and that, and basically signing autographs and selling pictures of himself, and that later on in life.
Was he the one that used to stop at all the train stations along the route, and to impress the locals, he would pull out his knife and cut buttons off his coat and sell them to the locals as a souvenir that they'd gotten a button from Geronimo's jacket. And then he'd jump back on the train, pull out a box of buttons, sew new buttons on his shirt. Next train station, he'd pull the same train. He'd have $150 by the time I got wherever they were going, just selling buttons.
Well, you had to make a living doing something, and Bill Cody got a lot of those people involved because it was getting to a period of time at the turn of the century where everybody read, of course, about Wild West and dime novels, which were 15 cents. But a lot of people didn't experience it until those shows that were traveling all over the United States. I guess there was good and bad in those shows.
Wait a minute. Geronimo wasn't in the Wild West shows. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on.
Thing that I read today, it was...
he was. He was with, Pawnee Bill.
Pawnee Bill. Yeah.
Pawnee Bill, not Buffalo Bill. Okay, that's where I was. Okay, that's what.
It was Buffalo Bill's show, though, I think originally, or what? I could be wrong, but
he was a partner with Buffalo Bill Cody for a while. But I don't know. Let me see.
And the other thing, 100 years ago today, IBM got started with their calculations and that.
International Business Machines.
Mm-hmm. At one point, they thought that IBM's international business would have prevented World War II, but obviously that didn't happen. I think they were going to try to bring everybody together, and of course, at the same time, Hitler and Mussolini was tearing everybody apart, so... But wouldn't that have been great if you had a great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather that got in on the ground floor when they started selling that stock?
Oh. Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on this tank move up here.
So what is the purpose of that tank?
To see how it's a thinner steel. It's a thinner amount of stainless steel. It's about as thick as a nickel.
Okay.
And they're going to see how much pressure it can. They got to get it up to a certain pressure to hold for flight.
Because anything they can do, because these components are so big, anything they can do to shave a little metal off of it reduces weight.
Yeah. And
Weight
is the enemy.
weight is money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What weight is payload? Weight, as Stephanie say, weight would be payload. And right now, the booster's weighing in at 250 tons. He wants to shave 50 tons off the booster. Getting it down to the thickness of a nickel is going to drop about 25 tons.
Yeah, I was about to say 10% is a reasonable goal. 20%. There's no way they're not 20% off that thing. It's just too big. Too complex, too much to it.
Well, that's just it. One of his favorite lines is the best part of a rocket is no part.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if you don't have it on, if you don't need it, it's something that can't. If it's not on there, it can't fail.
So did they say how long they're going to be doing these tests?
Well, they got the FAA approval on Monday. They've got 75 mitigation that they have to do before FAA will grant them a launch license. They've already got 35, been doing 35 of them since the beginning. It just makes some of those legal and binding. And some of the crazy things that they've got to do is they've got to spend so much money in wildlife preservation in Texas, not in Boca Chica, in Texas. Stupid things. They've got to put up 5 signs. No, 5. Just they've got to put up 5 signs saying, "Please stay off the dunes. You can't watch the rocket launch from here."
Despite how many people that actually do.
They're just making a lot of it's just hoops to jump through to make the other people happy. And somebody can up and sue them, and once they drop the lawsuit, they have to stop what they're doing till the lawsuit's settled. So somebody, the day of launch, could drop a lawsuit, and the judge has to order a cease and desist until the lawsuit is settled.
So somebody with a lot of money out there can keep shooting these lawsuits at them.
It wouldn't take a lot of money. I think you can file a lawsuit for $20.
Yeah. But remember, they've hired lawyers. Elon has lawyers on payroll.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you want to go? And okay, evidently Donna fell asleep during the comic book show because the little cuddle buddy has decided to hang out with him. That was Donna. Okay. Carl said she thought she fell asleep.
I wonder if Dan and Stephanie are watching the show. I'll go ahead and tell them there's a Starbucks coffee house over at the Reed House Hotel. It's about a block away from the Trade Center. They've got free internet.
That's good. Yeah, or find the nearest McDonald's.
I don't think they have a McDonald's downtown anymore.
Nope. It's been
you don't?
No.
Wow.
It's actually a parking lot now.
We have 2 McDonald's over there in Danville, where Carl and Donna live. The one up north is Rock and Roll McDonald's. Those are the ones that look like the old buildings with the huge gold arches spanning from the back of the restaurant to the front.
Down across the street from the Reed House, there used to be a McDonald's and a Woolworths.
Yep.
And there used to be these old-timey ground floor department store type buildings. And the store ran all the way through the building, so it had entrance on one street and an entrance on the other street. And the Murphy's was like, or the Woolworths was like, was that a Murphy's or Woolworths?
I can't remember. I just know if you really had to go to the bathroom bad, try to enter on the Broad Street.
Well, they're doing some work on our Rock and Roll McDonald's. Just some stuff outside, external. Hi, Sarah. But it's only been around for about, I think, 15 years. Carl or Donna could correct me on that. It was originally built in, I think, 75 or 76. So that was the old 70s era McDonald's that you would see in the McDonaldland commercials and that. And it did have a theme of all the area schools. So they had names of all the grade schools around Danville and Westville and that. And then how it got to be a Rock and Roll McDonald's, I guess if your franchise does X amount of business every year for so long, then you qualify to have your franchise turn into a Rock and Roll McDonald's, or otherwise the vintagey looking one. But the bad part about it is it's not a renovation that you can keep the place open. They literally had to tear down the restaurant from the 70s and then start work on the Rock and Roll McDonald's, which I'm thinking that took about 12, 14 months before it finally opened.
Yeah, well, they had one. They got one still. No, they've remodeled all. There's a new McDonald's platform out there. But yeah, the Rock and Roll McDonald's that they had around here, it was rock and roll all right, because everywhere you looked, there was pictures of rock bands hanging on the wall. And that was it. And Mick Jagger was on the wall twice.
Ours had Beatles, Beach Boys, Rolling Stones, Elvis, a bunch of different ones. Of course, you had the big jukebox in the middle of the small dining area, which didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but I guess, back then they didn't have a big dining area, that most of it was more where people came and parked. And I don't know if they had curb service when the McDonald's first opened. Yeah, the very first one that's up there, from Chicago, it had turned into a museum after so many years, when all the other ones were reverting to the more modern 70s
I remember seeing
versions. And it was neat as hell. And they would have antique car shows out there and do all kinds of things. Then they up and decided, we're going to build the new Rock and Roll McDonald's across the street. And because they wanted, I guess supposedly the museum wasn't bringing in enough money for them, so they literally tore down the original McDonald's, the very first one. It typically made no sense at all, but then again, it's Illinois.
Uh, yeah, went to Costco today, and first thing I did when I got to Costco, went and got gas. I only needed about half a tank, about 12, 13 gallons. $54 for half a tank of gas.
How much a gallon?
$4.63. And strangely enough, while I was sitting in line waiting to get into it, the guy came out and changed the sign. It was $4.69 when I got there, and he dropped it down to $4.63. So I watched the gas go down 6 cents a gallon.
Oakwood is $5.13, and I say it went down to $5.13. And then when I went into Danville to go grocery shopping at Meijer, theirs were, let's see, $5.06 a gallon. But it's gone. We got next Wednesday, we're going back up to Elk Grove. And I've been listening to WBBM, and they give the lowest gas prices, where people call in to give low gas prices, or which hasn't been low for several months. And I've been hearing some of the ones up there, $5.69 a gallon, $5.85 a gallon. It's going to hit $6 before Independence Day. There is no doubt, absolutely none.
Oh. See, went to Tractor Supply, bought some hog food. Went to Ingles early this morning. I got up early, showered, shaved, all that sort of good stuff. And then I got to Ingles about 10 minutes after 7. I went with the old people crowd. And
do you see Carl there?
I gotta quit going that early because they've still got pallets of food stacked in the aisleways waiting to put it on the shelves.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of exercise though, trying to drive around aisles to get around pallets.
Yeah, I the other day I've been doing my 6K walks, and I made it through a whole month, 6K goal for 31 days in a row. So Laura says, okay, time to up it. And I'm like, I thought she was going to tell me 10K now. And I said, yeah, I don't think I can do 10K because of my knees. And so I was getting ready to set my watch to do 8K. And then she texts me back and says, well, just do 7. You don't want to do too much at a time, but you do want to, kind of continuously to push yourself a little bit more of a challenge. So I'm on my second day in a row of walking 7K. And today I didn't think it was going to happen because I had a real crappy day. And I say that tongue in cheek because when I got out of the shower this morning, I noticed the water wasn't draining in the shower. And when I went to flush the toilet, it didn't come out of the top of the toilet, but water was leaking from below it. Now this happened about 4 days ago, and the maintenance man came out and got his auger, and he went about, the whole 25 foot that his auger was. And it stayed, I put a new wax ring on it and everything, and it was pretty good for a while, but this morning it blew out that wax ring, the brand new one. And
what's the temperature inside your house?
I've got the AC on, so it's typically been about 72, 74. It's not been hot or anything, but my line is tied with the apartment next to me. And so between the two, there was a clog in there that was clogging up both of them, but I was getting the worst end of it, where the neighbor in the apartment next door to me, he was getting the toilet backing up some, and then he got his toilet backed up into his tub, which I'm like, ew. So the guy our maintenance man, Jason, is a reenactor, and they are this weekend, as of today through Saturday or Sunday, him and his crew have hollowed out a tree to make a canoe, and they're canoeing down the Wabash River over across the state line.
I had that same issue with my plumbing last year. I guess, John, you remember when we were having to deal with that? I had to cut a hole in my deck Well, our sewer line went down and made a 90 made a 90 and went like another foot before it hit the sewer main, which is not code. I mean, you're supposed to hit it at a Y. I was supposed to have actually cut out the main and replaced it with a Y, but I fixed it properly. It now comes in with a Y, and we haven't had any problems.
Yeah, when I lived at Mom and Dad's house, we had a huge cottonwood tree in the backyard, and the roots, about every 4 or 5 years, would get into the tile out back there, and it would cause problems for the upstairs toilet and tub. And I would have to call the plumber, like I say, about once every 4 or 5 years, spend about $175 to have him come root it out, which was a lot cheaper than going out and having somebody with the backhoe dig everything up and replace all the tile and everything back there. But this one here, they had the vertical PVC traps outside, and they're raised up so high out of the ground. The one for my apartment and the ones next door was probably about 1.5 feet higher than all the rest of them. And so he opened all that up and started doing the same thing, just running the auger down there. And he was pulling up pebbles and everything else that got down in there, because when it pushed it up, it was allowing dirt and everything else to get in there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Carl says it only cost him $6,500 to fix it. Carl, I was quoted $7,000, and they would not put my deck back.
Who?
So me, my son, and the neighbor, with pick and shovel, dug it down, traced the line, and went back with PVC. The whole project only cost me $200 and a pizza. Oh, and John, that bug I was telling you about that eats the habaneros?
Yes.
Looks like a sweat bee.
I'm
reading
one bug you don't want to mess with, I guess.
I'm reading something right now that they caught a Russian spy who was trying to embed himself with the international tribunal that's investigating alleged Russian war crimes in Ukraine. He's a 37-year-old Russian military intelligence officer. He had cultivated a well-constructed cover identity as a Brazilian national and basically tried to get onto the tribunal posing as a Brazilian official. so that he could spy on them to see what the Ukrainians in this international court are saying about the Russian war crimes.
And relaying it back.
And relaying it back so Russia can have their defense ready before they have to go to this trial. Because basically, about half of Russia is going to get sanctioned over this crap. So,
yeah.
I heard on BBM that some Americans that were helping out the Ukrainians possibly were captured by the
a
Russians.
couple guys from Alabama supposedly got captured.
Yeah. And John and Joe Dog, if you put Sarah's comment up there, she's apparently watching another show right now, not watching ours.
Yeah, she typed that in the wrong box. And Carl says, change the subject. Calvin has hit all the Joe Dog balls, but he loves the little whip toy thing. Okay. And Donna came in and added, and Daddy Carl hid the catnip toy. So, okay. Just wait till I see Calvin. I'm gonna tell him, you know the catnip toys have been hidden. Oh yeah, that's right. Calvin. Daddy's hid the catnip toys.
Calvin will go out and catch a mouse, kill it, and then go hide it.
Ooh. I got an idea.
What?
My catnip in the yard's growing up real nice.
Yeah.
I'll go get me a little baggie full of it, take it to the convention with us, and when nobody's looking, we'll rub it all over Stephanie's bags.
No, save it and we rub it all over Carl and Donna's stuff and send it home with them.
Rub it all over Dan's stuff.
Carl
I was thinking,
I want to see him on catnip, and he heard me. He looked at the screen. Well, good boy, Calvin. Good boy.
Mhm.
Well, he probably knows the word cat. So
I have this visual of Carl getting roughed up by the police because he's got this baggie of green substance
Well,
in there that they think is something else besides catnip. Hey, Walt, how you doing? Walt's one of my friends from the other side of the Wabash.
yeah. And Carl says, you want to tip fate with Donna? Like I haven't already. I mean, if I'm...
have you been watching this show?
Apparently, Walt and Sarah is watching some other shows. So, as long as they keep commenting on this one, I guess that's okay.
That means they're still tuned in, so that counts as a view.
Yep.
You know, I sort of miss our Russian spam bots.
Yeah, they just disappeared.
Look, they got drafted.
That, and I think YouTube finally caught on to them.
I wonder if Brian's show gets them anymore. Because usually they were coming from there, from the comic book show, and that's when we would get them.
Donna's going, Joe Doc, remember, my name is Donna, and I am a redhead. Yeah, and so is Mickey. And John knows who Mickey is. Mickey Kilgore, Dutch and Mickey.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm willing to dump 40 inflatable flamingos on Mickey, Donna, bring it. And Carl probably has the best thing. I think we cut off their internet in Russia. Oh, John, did you see the tanker rolling in?
Oh, yeah.
It is labeled drinking water.
It might be.
Yeah, that's the only way they can get water, drinking water in there, is haul it in on a tractor trailer.
That's not uncommon in South Texas.
Yeah.
Because the water's so bad everywhere. I mean, it's like... The problem with the water in that part of Texas is that they're at the end of the Rio Grande River, and they're literally in the marshy delta area of it. And by the time the river gets down there, it's so full of crap, literally. That, yeah, it's
Yeah, they're right there where the Rio Grande hits the Gulf.
yeah. Boca Chica is one of the islands in the delta, basically.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what's funny. They're all ticked off about this rocket company being out there possibly hurting the environment. Nobody's saying anything about the water quality in the Rio Grande.
well, they'll blame that on the rocket company, probably.
They're not going to blame it on the oil company.
No, because they blame it on the oil company will fire them. Of course, I saw something this week. The mayor of Brownsville, Texas, or the county guy. The county, they don't call him county mayor down there. The
County commissioner,
the head guy,
commissioner, probably
executive, or county executive.
Yeah, that sounds
something like that. He said since SpaceX has moved in, for every one person that moves in, there are 10 people that are employed to support that one person. Grocery stores are moving in. They're Publix and some other big grocery has moved into Brownsville.
I think they still got Piggly Wigglies out there.
They just in grocery stores alone, to support SpaceX, there's been 5,000 jobs created in the grocery store side.
For every 10 people that a company can employ, just any company, you start an auto parts store,
yeah,
and it employs 10 people, you can open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Capitalism at its finest.
Because those 10 people and their families are going to need someplace to eat.
Buy their clothes, buy cars, and
so on,
buy houses.
And the people from California that's moving out there from SpaceX, the real estate one of the real estate guys, his company's called Starbase Realty. I mean, and he had to change his font in his logo. It was just a kind letter from Elon. I'm not affiliated with you. One of his, of course, Elon sends all his employees to this guy to buy houses. And this guy bought a $350,000 home. Had like 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, and a bunch of stuff in a nice HOA community.
That's actually pretty cheap considering.
He walked up and looked at it and goes, "How much? I'll take it." Before he ever walked inside.
Try buying something that big for $350,000 in California.
He said the house we're living in is a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, $1 million.
That house you were talking about in Texas, I was about to say that's about $2 million in California, maybe more, 2.5.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. And he also said, I'm now to the point to where I'm selling houses that I sold before, and these people are turning a profit. They're moving in, staying 3 years, get a job either in Florida or he says most of them are moving to Florida or Alabama.
Now, Alabama's doing what? That's
Huntsville.
Well, I mean, what is SpaceX doing something?
Blue Origin.
Oh, Blue Origin.
And he goes, these people are coming in buying these houses. 3 years ago, bought these houses for $150,000. They're selling them for $350,000 now, and then moving to Huntsville and Florida. So yeah, SpaceX is bringing income to what is really a poor section of Texas. Brownsville is.
If you didn't work for an oil company in Brownsville, you worked for the Border Patrol.
Yeah.
Pretty much it.
Or you worked out at Boca Chica at the resorts, putting up with everybody's crap. Of course, one thing that they also brought up about the SpaceX property, they said 25 years ago that property was a resort that got wiped off the map by a hurricane. That was never brought up in the process.
That's one thing that has always amazed me, that you never hear about Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, getting hit with hurricanes.
Oh, they get
exactly, but you never really hear about it because I don't know.
Because they built the buildings for Cat 5s. She's wiggling her finger.
Was that I thought it was her hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can't actually show her stream because she's got copyright claims on it. I am trying to talk with her to get chances to restream it. But, shoot, NASA Spaceflight wants $10,000 a stream. Oh, that reminds me, Bill. I was telling you some of the stuff that they had to mitigate.
Mm-hmm.
Mitigate things is they've got to put up 3 remote solar-powered satellite internet cameras in the facility. Just in case they can spot an ocelot. There hasn't been an ocelot seen in Clark County in 50 years.
What about orangutans?
I don't know. And Elon quoted, he says, ocelot hasn't one been seen in Clark County in 50 years. He says there is, however, cats, dogs, coyotes, and alligators.
Armadillos.
And armadillos.
Oh, what was the name of that beer? Lone Star beer.
Oh, yeah.
And the armadillo commercials.
I was trying to think of the King of the Hill cartoon. They did a kind of a parody of Lone Star beer that was supposed to be the only beer that you drank in Texas. I can't remember what the name of their beer was. I'm reading something here from just a day or two ago. Tesla's in trouble again.
Again?
Yeah, well, when haven't they? But
when you've got $1 billion, you're always in trouble.
Well, I guess there's a federal investigation that might cause 830,000 Tesla cars to be recalled. It's for the autopilot driver assist system. I think that's what it's called.
FSD.
There's some issues with that, yeah. And so what's Tesla going to do? They're raising the prices on all their cars.
Do you know how hard it'll be for Tesla to solve that problem? Bill, you got any idea?
No, I'm still baffled over the problem with their very expensive batteries that are shipped all over the world just to make and before they come back. Bless you.
To solve the full self-driving issue, disable. They can do it on one keyboard. Carl, if I knew you were up at 3:30 this morning, I would have called you about 4.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a good night.
Yeah, and don't crash. Come in for a 3-point landing, Carl.
Yeah, but are you talking about, Bill, were you talking about the batteries catching fire? Is that the problem you were talking about?
Well, there is that problem, but I'm just talking about the cost of the batteries. They have certain parts of them made in certain countries. They're shipped to another countries to be put together before they're shipped to the United States to be put in the Tesla's vehicles. And I think for someone who a company who claims that they're doing everything they can to decrease their carbon footprint, that's actually doing the opposite.
Well, the plan eventually is once they get enough cars and batteries out there to kick in the recycling program so they don't have to keep digging up all these lithium mines and all that. I just dropped the lid to my... I'll be right back.
Oh. Pepsi syndrome.
Apparently.
No, I dropped the lid to my drink, and I didn't think y'all wanted to see my butt stick up in the air as I reached over to get it. See, I'm thinking of you guys.
Yeah.
And
well, go ahead.
Says they come from at the Afghanistan lithium mines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many car fires Tesla's had?
I've heard the story, but it's been a while back.
35. 35 battery fires. Out of roughly 6 million cars built over the span of their production.
And
do you know how many car fires GM had last year alone?
They only lost about 7 Pintos. Okay, so the Ford Pinto's actually doing better than Tesla.
Yeah, well, GM
Ford's got a bunch of recalls too this year.
GM.
Yeah, their electric car's doing horrible.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah.
Well,
electric truck. That's what it is.
Yeah, remember, Ford is getting away from cars altogether. You're not going to see any more Mustangs or... I don't even know if they make Tauruses anymore.
What did I do, Donna? I got Donna wound up again.
It's what you didn't do, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? You went blank. Picked up your thing.
Oh, oh, okay. I figured Donna would have enjoyed that.
Mhm. Well, this isn't the green room. That's tomorrow night.
And I will not be dropping in on the green room. Dan won't be dropping in on the green room. I don't think Stephanie will be dropping in.
Is there actually going to be a green room? I guess is the question, because which I'm sure Donna could answer that for us, but and if there is, I'll be there, but of course it's after the auction.
Yeah.
Laura has her eyes on something at the auction. I haven't even looked at the pictures on Auction Zip yet. They usually put them up on Wednesdays, and I've been so busy with everything else right at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Not on this show.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, up in North Dakota, the Turtle Mountain Band of the Chippewa tribe recently welcomed the birth of a white buffalo calf.
Ooh.
Tribe views the white buffalo as the most sacred living thing on earth. The calf signifies a sign of hope that their prayers have been answered. Good. Maybe 2023 will be a good year.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a movie with Marlon Brando?
No, that was
about the white buffalo.
That was a movie with Charles Bronson.
Yeah, you can get those two confused every now and then.
Well, I thought it was about somebody that was hunting the white buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was actually the name of the movie too. Now I'm going to have to Google it.
With Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
But Brando wasn't in it?
Nope. I'm trying to remember Jack Warner. Oh, what is his name? He's a famous actor. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Palance?
No.
Nicholson?
No.
It had Will Sampson, Jack Warden, Kim Novak, Clint Walker, Slim Pickens, John Carradine.
John Carradine played a Undertaker. Imagine that.
Stuart Whitman, Douglas Fowley, Kara Williams, Shay Duffin, and Sensei John Kreese, Martin Cove.
Pretty good movie, though. Charles Bronson plays Wild Bill Hickok. And he's been plagued by these dreams about a white buffalo, apparently because he killed Whistler, the peacemaker. He's been cursed. And the only way he can undo the curse is to kill a white buffalo.
Okay. That's the same movie I'm thinking of, so I don't know how I got Marlon Brando, though.
Maybe you were thinking of Slim Pick. You confused Slim Pickens with Marlon Brando.
Maybe he confused Kim Novak with Marlon.
Possible. Well, I was thinking it was some sort of strange, demented scene like the scene that Brando was in Apocalypse Now, where what's his name goes to visit him in the darkened cave or cavern or whatever it was.
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, yeah.
Played Captain Willard.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? Marlon Brando, he remembers.
Well, of course.
Now, if I were to hold up a comic book, he'd probably tell me who wrote it and who did the illustrations, but I can't remember.
I mean, Marlon Brando was Christopher Reeve's father. Or Christopher Reeve, no S on the end.
John, somewhere towards the beginning of the movie, beginning of the movie. This is a movie, people. This show is completely scripted. We're gonna break the fourth wall. This is the most scripted show out on the internet right now. No,
There will be no sequel.
Somehow we were talking about something made me think of light bulbs. At Home Depot now, they've got a screw-in light bulb. It takes the LED, the wattage draw is a 150 watt LED. It's equivalent to a 1,000-watt light bulb.
Jeez. Put it in on your porch light.
Boy, that would scorch Jehovah's Witnesses. I tell you, I mean, they like knock on your door. What I'm talking about, you just flip on the porch light and watch
Turn the light on.
Flames. I
think they're getting abducted by aliens from overhead.
But yeah, I looked at it and Donna goes, "No, no,
well,
no."
I showed you that thing I bought at Costco. Came in the 2-pack.
Yeah.
You screw it in. It's got the 3 pedals on it that are LED light. Those things. I didn't realize when I bought it was a 2-pack. I only actually needed one.
Yeah.
But I put both of them up in the garage, and it's like a TV studio. I mean, it's like that much light.
Sarah Heiser, yes, for home use.
Oh, Sarah, because it's an LED bulb, it won't actually put out that much heat.
Yeah.
Right. Very little, actually.
Of course, it'll still burn your retinas out, but you know.
They said it's the equivalent of a sodium street lamp.
Oh wow!
What? Now, if I had a barn or a big steel building like a shop type thing, yes, those would be cool because you could put them like on the outside around. Excuse me.
The green shielded lights.
Exactly.
Of course, I picked it up and looked at it, and Donna's going, "No, no." I'm just reading. No, it's $100. No, I said, only 100. I so thought, I'm going to sneak in there and one night change out the light in the kitchen because that's the type of bulb we got in the kitchen.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah.
We've got one of these strips above our bathroom mirror that has the 5 bulbs. They're like the big glow makeup bulbs type thing. They call them makeup lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it.
Can you imagine replacing all 5 of those?
It's like, oh.
Mine has 8.
I probably could permanently blind you. Well, I'll tell you what. Growing up, now
you wouldn't have to bleach your shower.
Yeah,
it would do it for you. Just flip on the lights for about 2 minutes and kill all the germs in your bathroom.
Walt will confirm this. We had a friend back in the 70s in high school and 80s, and this guy was terribly afraid of a broken light bulb. And I think it had something to do with the filaments inside the light bulb. Like if you drop it and it breaks. And I know one time this friend was coming over to my mom and dad's house, and he was coming up on the porch, and my brother went and grabbed this broken light bulb and hid around the corner. And as soon as he come in, he said, "Hey Jim, look at this," and just held it inches from his face. And I mean to tell you, he about knocked my brother down, climbing over the top of him. It terrified him. I don't know why. And to this day, I'm still friends with this guy. And Walt knows who we're talking about. Even though he doesn't get on Facebook or anything, I still won't say his name. But still to this day, he will readily admit that he is totally petrified of broken light bulbs. And yeah, Walt, Walt knows.
Yeah. And Jessica has to move her camera. So that means they're getting ready to roll that thing out. She had to move for safety reasons if it fell over. You know, they're rolling, 25-story buildings down a 15 and 25-story building down the road, but she has to move for a 30-foot tank.
Insurance.
Yeah.
Probably. Hey,
Joe, I don't think she's that close to it either.
Joe, you know how it is. They go to turn that corner, centrifugal force takes over, and somebody leaves a socket on top of that tank. Next thing you know, she catches a 10-millimeter socket in the head. Oops, found it.
Yeah, you're right, 10-millimeter, because that's probably what it'll be, is a 10-millimeter socket, because those damn things just. Of course, I found out. You know what the standard socket is that always goes missing?
I'm going to say 9/16.
The 7/16.
7/16.
That's the one of mine.
When I was a kid, all our bicycles were like 9/16.
5/8, 5/8 and 9/16. 9/16 was the front wheel. 5/8 was the back wheel. And all the seat adjust was a 5/8, and the handlebar adjust was the 9/16.
We used to take our Schwinn Stingrays. We'd take an extra set of forks. And if you knew someone who could weld, you have them weld those extra set of forks so it'd make your bike look like a chopper.
Yeah.
If you didn't, you drilled holes and you put bolts in through there. But of course, now this is during the heyday of Evel Knievel and everything. And of course, all of us kids tried to duplicate a lot of those stunts that he did. And going off a ramp with your bike chopped with only these whatever kind of bolt that we could get our hands on is what we used. And
of course, I remember, cinder block and a 2x6.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought we flew forever. Shoot, these kids today on these bicycles, up in the air, spinning around, do let go of it, juggle two more while they're in the air, come back, land, and ride off. What? What are you looking at, John?
Nearly 24 cats living in their homeless owner's car were rescued as temperatures surpassed 90 degrees Fahrenheit. They wound up opening up this SUV she's living in and found 47 felines.
That's not 24. That's 4 dozen.
Well, it said they rescued 24. Apparently, she had already given away several of them.
Well, I was going to say, did some of them not make it?
She was allowed, and apparently she was allowed to keep some of them.
Hey, I'm going to just throw this picture up real quick because it's a cool picture. I can't leave it up long, but is that not an awesome picture? 3 rockets and a booster.
If I worked there, I'd have to show up some days dressed as one of the critters from Star Wars. Just Guido, Boba Fett, something. Just. Oh, yeah, show that picture again. Or did they see
that one?
Yeah, hang on a minute. I'm going to zoom in on that.
Wow.
They don't look too unhappy.
Was the air conditioner running?
Apparently not. You said it was what, 90 degrees
Well,
in there, John?
it was 90. It says rescued from 90 degrees heat. They didn't say if it was the car or the. Let me see.
They want to make cars now because apparently that will detect anything in the back seats because of people leaving pets and children
Somehow or
in the
another,
back seat.
a 4-year-old girl got left in a school bus overnight for like 7 hours or something like that and died from heat exhaustion and all that. And I'm like, how? I mean, isn't there a law that the bus driver is supposed to go back and check the seats at the end of the day just to make sure there's nobody in it?
Well, actually, there is some of the new buses. You have to actually walk to the back and do something to the back door before you can shut the side door for the night.
I haven't heard
The side door won't shut without you doing something in the back of the school bus now.
I bet it has something to do with a manual lock for that back door because you couldn't have it to where you couldn't open it while it was in use.
Yeah, but it has to be before the side doors can be closed. You have to do something at the back of the bus to do it. Should we let that guy on? Really?
I don't know. He looked kind of shady. Yes.
He does look shady.
They better turn the light on then.
Hey Ryan, what's up?
Hey Ryan.
Hello there.
Hello.
And it is kind of shady on his end.
Oh please.
And Ryan, we're going to pick on you every time you show up.
Probably, which is pretty sad. But
get ready, Ryan.
The heat where we live right now the heat index is 110 today.
That's amazing, John. That's amazing.
Shady is a compliment today.
That is great. I don't look too shady from this end. I mean, I got my 3-point lighting going here, so I try to look my best, Mr. DeMille.
Ryan, I forgot something. We got to welcome you back properly.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
I love that. That's great.
I didn't see it on this end, but I knew what he was playing.
Mm-hmm. I think we all do because I remember watching that movie a lot on VHS as a kid. That's right, folks, VHS. And yes, I still use VHS tapes to watch to this day. Heck, I was eating dinner earlier tonight. You know what I was watching on VHS? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze from 1991, okay? That was one of the first films I ever saw in theaters as a youngling, ever. So my hat's off to the people who made that film possible because that movie holds a special place in my heart. And by the way, that segues into hello there, Donna. So good to see you, darling. That segues into something I want to share with you guys because first of all, I want to say it's great to see all of you again. Secondly, I want to say a special congratulations to Bill Sarton because Bill, I saw your most recent works on your Art of Bill Sarton Facebook page, which by the way, if you are not following this man, where am I pointing? Hold on. If you're not following this guy on social media, you got to treat yourself and do it now. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because this man has something available for everybody, whether it's I should have mailed it to the Marx Brothers, or you want to talk about Superman. What iteration of Superman are we talking about here? Are we talking about the comic book version? Are we talking about the 1996 animated series version? Well, guess what? He's got something for everybody because Bill, I love your most recent works. I posted them on social media because I love them so much. Whether it's Superman, whether it's Batman from the 1992 animated series, to be more specific, or it's, what was it? I think you said it was Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah, I tried to do the Leonardo from the original Eastman and Laird version. That's why he has the red mask on and not the blue one. And then later on, from the bonus sketch of the day, I put up the original black and white version, I call it, which is the penciled and inked version, before I applied the color. But
so that's what that was. Well, I
but
gotta tell you,
thank you very much for what you did. I've had the day from hell here, so I hadn't been on Facebook very much at all. But
okay.
I did happen to see that when I finally got to sit down and eat supper, and I tried to respond to you on that, though. I do greatly appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I love what you do. It's awesome stuff. I mean, when you posted the Superman from 1996, I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing. So much so, I'm wearing some Super Loop shirts today. So I got it. My hat's off to you, man. I love it. You got something for every generation, whether they grew up in the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1990s. I mean, my gosh, as a 90s kid, the ones you posted most recently within the last 48 hours just warms my heart.
Well,
So,
thank you.
good
There
on
are
you,
3
Bill.
Superman that I have not done that now, since you mentioned it, I'm going to have to do them at some point in the future. Kirk Allen,
Oh yeah,
George Reeves, and Christopher Reeve.
Ooh.
Because I've done Michael Keaton, I've done Adam West, as far as Batman go, and that George guy who did him, I'm not too sure about that, but I think I did a Batfleck one before, and done the most recent one, couple of them of Robert Pattinson, but
Nice.
which I'm finally got that on DVD the other night and got to watch it.
Oh,
And
did you like it?
Oh yeah, I saw it at the movie theater originally.
Oh, nice.
I was going to take my 13-year-old niece to see it, and she couldn't go at the last minute. And because there are a couple scenes in there that are might be a little bit too much for her. Probably a boy her age would be a different story. So I just went to see it by myself. But now I have the DVD, and I can watch it whenever.
No, that's great. I actually didn't see the Batman until I bought it during a Target run on Blu-ray. No, that's not true. That's not true. Let me reverse that. Sorry. I watched it on streaming when it was available. So I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on HBO Max, the streaming service. # not a sponsor. Just want to point that out. And I watched the film and I was like, dang, this is a heck of a film. It's so good. It's different than some of the other Batman films we've seen. And it definitely takes his origin story. Well, not so much his origin, but it borrows some elements from Frank Miller's Year One and certain elements of that, which is really good. Who's this? More Beautiful People? Is that Keisha?
That's got to be Keisha.
It's got to be Keisha.
That's Keisha.
She chimed in on a show I did moments ago by saying, "Hello, beautiful people." I'm like, well, that's Keisha's trademark.
Yeah. And since Ryan's here, we'll go ahead and
Hi. It's good to see you.
Yeah, drop some bad news.
Oh no.
Of course.
Do we really need to talk about the bad news though?
Yeah. Well, we do need to let some of our comic book fans know that artist Tim Sale passed away today.
Yes, I did read about that. I did.
So
rest in peace, Tim Sale, from many, many things he did in his career, including Batman's The Long Halloween.
Batman, Hulk, Spider-Man, Superman, and basically all the greats.
All the greats. There you go. R.I.P. Man. I remember reading The Long Halloween. That's a darn good trade paperback.
Whenever I see a Facebook, my number of friends, if it drops one, I'm thinking, okay, did somebody leave or got mad at me or whatever? But then, unfortunately, sometimes it's something like this that happens. And
I'll be right back.
Sure.
Second bottle of water is just about gone. I'll be right back.
That sounds about right. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Joe.
Stephanie, how are you doing?
Hey, Steph.
By the way, Keisha came back and she says, you would be correct. It is Keisha that says Facebook user, which is the comment above Stephanie's, just so we're clear.
And I'll be right back.
Thank you very much, Joe. Well, gentlemen, I got to tell you, it's good to see you guys again because I know it's been several. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. It's been several months since I've been here, but Bill, I love the new stuff that you're posting, man. I love it. The Superman really got me because I was like, oh, I love Superman's my favorite character of all time. For those who may be wondering, who the frack is this guy and when did he show up? Well, I'll tell you, it's been a while since I've been here. My name is Ryan. I live in the state of Maryland on the East Coast. I'm a podcast host and producer as well as advocate for those who have autism because I have autism myself. and I use it as my superpower, and I use it for the good of mankind. Hashtag those are the facts, and they are undisputed. So with that being said, Superman is my favorite character because if it weren't for the television series known as Smallville, I would not be the big Superman fan that I am today. If it weren't for Smallville, I wouldn't have gotten through a dark time in my life. So hence the reason I'm wearing a Smallville t-shirt that came with the season 9 DVD set. So
what
there's your
you
fun
Ron?
fact about
What have
me
you
for
been
the
up to?
day. And when Bill posted that stuff on his Facebook, I'm thinking, dang, this guy must be speaking my language now because he's posting Batman from 92. He's posting Superman from 96. I'm like, way to give the 90s kids some love, Bill. Way to go.
And the one thing I got to say, I do have stuff for sale that you can purchase safe and securely through PayPal. No checks, please. But anyway, and if it's original illustration, I have over, I can't remember the exact count. I'm just going to say over 500 different illustrations.
It's 500 now. Wow.
If there are any that are actually the originals that are sold, you can still get 8x10 prints of them made for a little bit cheaper. And if it just, I also do commissions for people when they want me to do special drawings of their loved ones or their furry friends or different, well, superhero things like you're talking about, Ryan, stuff like that. So, you know, definitely keep me in mind on that. Ryan, I have a question I need to ask you too, because of one that I did for you, of you, and Dave Adams, and that. Do you and Dave still have your show going?
Great question, Dave. Where are you? The where is Dave Adams when you need him? No, but the answer to your question though, Geek at Birth is still a thing. Unfortunately, it is in a coma, a very long, extended coma. But we decided for Dave and I, we are going to do it once in a blue moon. We're not going to do it every week. We're not going to do it every month. We are going to do it when the mood strikes us and when we feel that, you know, there's enough there for us to produce and put together a show, which there always is going to be, no matter what. I mean, if we did a show next week, hypothetically, and then we waited 2 more weeks to do another one, there's going to be more than enough, you know, geek-related news to, you know, either talk about or something that we're passionate about that we want to talk, you know, discuss more in depth, if you know what I mean. But for the moment, it's in a coma. But I did have a discussion most recently with Dave. When the series of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is streaming right now on Disney Plus, is over, I think we're going to do a special edition of Geek at Birth where the bet that we made, and this is something I need to give the audience context on. So I made a bet with Dave Adams from Geek at Birth, by the way, where if Hayden Christensen, who is slated to return in the series that's streaming on Disney Plus right now, known as Obi-Wan Kenobi, if I want, which I'm watching the entire series, so I need to watch all 6 episodes, and then I need to see what Hayden Christensen brings back to the role. If I like what I see from Hayden Christensen's performance in this series, I got to go on a very special episode of Geek at Birth and make a public apology to actor Hayden Christensen by saying to him, Hayden, I'm sorry that I doubted you, and I've been hating on you ever since 2002's Attack of the Clones, because to be perfectly honest with you, and this is just to give people context, I don't really like episodes 2 and 3 of the Star Wars prequels. I like episode 1 because of Liam Neeson, Duel of the Fates music by John Williams, and Darth Maul, and the lightsaber battle that we get at the end of the movie, and the pod racing sequence that we get in the middle of the film. I like certain things about Phantom Menace to the point where I can watch that and not be bothered by certain elements that I may not like, including Jar Jar Binks. It doesn't bother me in episode 1. It doesn't. It doesn't. So I can tune him out and still enjoy the movie. So if I like what I see from Obi-Wan Kenobi in regards to Hayden Christensen's performance, I got to go on record and say that I'm sorry to Hayden Christensen on a very special edition of Geek at Birth. So basically what I'm saying to you here, fellas and ladies and gentlemen in the comments, I'm going to watch this series. We're all going to watch it together. And then once we're done, we're going to get on Geek at Birth and we're going to share our thoughts and opinions on a spoiler-heavy review of all 6 episodes or the series in general. And then if I like what I see from Hayden, I got to make an apology on set. I got to do it in front of 20,000 screaming fans in the chat. So stay tuned, because in the next, I think it's July 2nd is what we're slating to do this, if not somewhere in July. you're going to see a special edition of Geek at Birth there, Bill. So stay tuned because Dave Adams, myself, and even we're going to have some special guests for this show too. So when we do this special edition of Geek at Birth, it's going to be one heck of a ride. Trust me when I tell you.
Now,
Well,
are you waiting to watch all 6 at once?
No, I'm watching them weekly. So I'm going to watch episode 5 this weekend because a friend of mine and I, who is not Dave Adams, she and I are supposed to do a recap/review of episode 5 next week. So if that's still going to happen, I will talk about episode 5 there. But I am watching these episodes week by week. I'm not just going to wait until it all drops and then binge it.
Okay. So you haven't seen 5 yet?
Haven't seen 5 yet, but I have seen 1 through 4.
Okay. You're in.
Please don't spoil it.
All I'm going to say is, damn.
Okay. I mean, I've heard some things happen in episode, but then again, things happen in every episode of any series anyway. But I'm looking forward to seeing episode 5. I'm actually going to watch it on Sunday so that I can talk about it with my friend on their recap show on Monday. So that's what
I haven't seen any of them yet, so I've been hiding in a cave for the last several weeks, and that until I do get the chance to watch them.
Hey, that's okay. In the meantime, you can rewatch the great film known as The Batman and continue putting out great and new character pieces, character sketches that you've been posting on your Facebook page. Which, by the way, don't be surprised if I order that Superman one.
Oh, and Ryan, have you been watching Miss Marvel? Or Ms. Marvel?
Ms. Marvel. On Disney Plus? Yeah. No, because I saw the trailer for it and I realized I am not the target audience. So I don't think I'm going to watch this. I'm going to let the little kids watch it.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: watch it for the soundtrack.
Does it take place does it not take place in modern day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is not targeted towards.
No, from the trailer, it seemed like it was targeted towards 10-year-olds.
It's targeted towards the tweeners.
Yeah. That's the vibe I was getting from
what
the
I
trailer.
was thinking.
Yeah.
It's targeted for the tweeners, but the Marvel fan can appreciate some of the references. And some of the cameos are just... You'll hit pause and back up and go, was that?
So-and-so? Yeah.
Holy crap.
How many episodes? Do we know how many episodes it's slated to be? Is it going to be 6 episodes like everything else?
I think so. And episode 2 just dropped.
Oh, okay. Well, you know me, Joe. I can always go back and binge watch it later. If I wanted to, hypothetically.
But yeah, this episode of Obi-Wan is...
It's probably bonkers crazy, but we can't get into it because some of us sitting at the table haven't seen it yet.
Blah 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 blah. No.
I know, right? Where's that band? What's the name of the band? The jukebox music from the Cantina.
Yeah.
You know?
I will tell you that
Max Rebo.
Thank you. I was looking for that. Max Rebo band. Thank you. Yeah, that was from Jabba's Palace. Yeah.
There were shades of Rogue One.
Someone wrote an article saying that. Yeah. I saw a headline on the internet that says this episode borrows elements from like Rogue One, or how this episode was inspired by Rogue One. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'll watch it later.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Trust me. If I'm going to be on my friend's show on Monday, which I'm hoping that's still slated to happen, I'm going to watch it on Sunday so it's fresh in my mind come Monday morning. If not Monday night when we do the actual flipping show. Yeah. Maybe I'll watch it again on Monday. Maybe I'll watch it twice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to watch it before I go to bed.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is it? How long is it, by the way? Is it 35 minutes like last week's was, or is it 45 minutes?
I think it's in the 40-minute range.
Cool. I can handle that. Because the last one was only 35 minutes. That was really quick.
Yeah.
Which was episode 4, not 5.
Yeah.
Which I still liked, by the way.
Have you been watching The Boys?
I know of it, but I've never seen it. There's a lot of shows I'm not caught up on because all the current markets and the current streaming services that are available to us nowadays, it's too much to catch up with.
Be cheaper just to buy a cable subscription?
Well, at this point, I would say yeah. But no, I have not seen The Boys. But I know what it is. I just haven't seen it. No offense to those of you who watch it, but I have not seen it.
I'm going to put it to you this way. I had to quit watching it. It was too much for me.
Too much violence? Too much sexual profanity?
There was one scene that I went, okay,
A little
that's
too much.
That's too far. They went to the point to where I said, that's too far.
That's too far. Okay, well then that's some shows tend to do that depending on what streaming services you're on.
I mean, I watch The Walking Dead and see, brains explode and get blood drip down the camera.
Which I've seen that too.
And it didn't bother me. This scene bothered me.
Okay, well that's fine. Listen, you like what you like, and if some things aren't your taste or they go a little bit too far over the edge, then yeah, it's best to pull back and move on to something else. Hence the reason I'm, I don't know. I'm just watching Obi-Wan as far as current television is concerned. Anything else, I'm just not streaming. I'm catching up on. Like, for instance, I've read several books this week, including I read Jack Kirby's The Forever People this week. That was good. I'm getting into Jack Kirby stuff, because like I said, I got into comics late in the game. No offense.
Now, did you read an omnibus of The Forever People?
It was a trade paperback that contained issues 1 through 11 of The Forever People. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
1 through 11.
Yes, it's a very good series.
It's good.
You're in for a treat.
Yeah. Well, I already read it. I read The Forever People, and then I'm going to read Jack Kirby's New Gods, which is a bigger paperback, and then I got I know this one doesn't have as much flavor to it, but I'm still going to read it anyway. This was towards the end of his career. I'm going to read also Jack Kirby's Superpowers from DC.
Yes, I bought those
which
when
I have
they
over here.
first came out.
Yeah, that's going back a few decades. But listen, age is just a number, so it doesn't matter. Well, Dr. Jones tells us, right? It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage.
It was a great time because when I was getting back into comics, I was out during my teen years for a while because, quite frankly, I rather wanted to buy Beatle albums and Rolling Stones and The Who and stuff like that. And I couldn't buy that and comics both. But when I got back in, it was about the third issue in on Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I thought, what the hell's going on here with DC? And that just pulled me in.
Good stuff. But yeah, I look forward to reading more of that as I go along. I've been reading a lot lately, and I've been posting my reviews on goodreads.com if anyone wants to follow me. And I've also posted them on my social media, the links to my reviews, in case anyone wants to go back and read them, including the one for The Forever People, which I just posted recently, by Jack Kirby.
Do me a favor. Post your meta link or whatever it is.
Sure, in the Stupid O'Clock Facebook group,
yes.
Because that's what John is so good at doing on this show, ladies and gentlemen. He is so good at reminding me, saying, hey, Ryan, if you're doing something incredible, which you do every week anyway, please post that link in what is known as the Facebook group so people can read about it. And I'm like, yes, John, I do that quite a bit. I've been posting my links to my upcoming shows. I've been posting links to my review. Maybe not my reviews, but...
Speaking of which, since everybody's here, all the pertinent people, because
all the regulars.
I'm throwing this at Joe.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Bill and Ryan were posting stuff on the Stupid O'Clock Facebook page, and it was telling me to grant them permission.
Facebook. They posted too
much.
That's
okay. I just want to make sure there wasn't some button I needed to, or you needed to hit. So every time I saw it, I kept, why am I having to give these two people permission and every other joker gets to post whatever?
They post. What am I trying to say?
It looked like advertising.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what I figured, but I figured there was a switch we need. I spent half an hour looking for a switch that would grant both of them permanent permission.
Eventually, you found it.
No, eventually Facebook kind of. Apparently, I hit the button enough that Facebook says, "Hey, maybe they like this guy." So that's
okay. Because every time I post on there now, it just says your post has been posted. So
yeah,
it on my end at least it shows up all the time.
Yeah, it's my links are getting posted on the page. So guess what, guys? We can post stuff on Facebook again. It's great, isn't it? Especially when it's Bill's incredible artwork, which you need to follow this guy on Facebook now and treat yourself to some prints or original sketches because this guy's got, 500 now? That is ridiculous amount of stuff. So
Don't follow me too closely. I'll call the police.
Well, there's that too. But at least you can buy his prints or his sketches safely and securely through our good friends at PayPal. So that helps.
For as long as PayPals are good friends. I don't know where it's going anymore. eBay got rid of them. They went to the structured payment system, and I'm hearing comments about people's. I'm saying, what the heck? I was going to start selling on eBay, and now they're telling me that they're not doing through PayPal anymore. And the people are saying, yes, finally. And I guess they were, or at least eBay was having some issues with PayPal. I never do.
Neither do I.
It seems pretty seamless at best. At least anything that I've ever used it for, and that's basically it. If I'm either
the issue I ever had on eBay and PayPal is I used to make hubcaps for trailers that had 8-inch wheels.
Oh, sure.
This guy sends me a message and says, "Will these fit the Apache with the 10-inch wheels?" No,
because they're 8 inches, man.
They're 8-inch. They're for 8-inch. You got 10-inch wheels. They won't fit.
That's different.
He buys them anyway.
Oh God. I don't know. Sometimes it's best to read the entire. What is it called? The description of the product that this person is selling.
Oh! This gets better.
Always read the description.
Christmas Eve, I get a email from him. I bought these hubcaps and they don't fit. I said, because I told you they wouldn't fit. Well, we're disappointed. We want our money back.
Too late.
I said, no refunds. I told you ahead of time. And I've got the email chain. About New Year's, right before New Year's Day, they arrived back at my house.
Really? Wow.
He sent them back.
That's something, isn't it?
He wanted his money, and then says, I've sent them back to you. I want my money back through PayPal.
Wow.
He filed the PayPal thing. Dispute.
Yeah, dispute.
PayPal gave him his money back, which left me in the red, which basically, because it went into the red, it went to my bank account.
All right.
Pulled it out of my bank account, which redded the bank account. Right before the day before my direct deposit. So then I didn't have enough money to make my house payment that month.
Oh, man. You're right, that's crummy. Well, that's crummy.
And it even with the structured payments that eBay uses now, that is still the same process through them. Laura rarely worries about making enough to pay her eBay store every month because she's up there on that. She's had an eBay store for over 20 years or 22 years, something like that. She's at 100%, never had a neutral or negative comment from anyone. Not because she gives in whenever anybody says that they want their money back on something that they know they shouldn't have got back, like what you said with the 8-inch hubcaps, but typically she'll go the extra mile when she does send something out. I've recently purchased something yesterday from eBay from the United Kingdom.
Oh, wow.
And now don't get me wrong, I purchased things from my little Gundam guy here that I was fretting over earlier because the stupid, his shield connects to his arm 2 different ways, and so sometimes it comes loose, and it may come to the point to where super glue will be involved. But I purchased him from Taiwan.
Did you?
And it got here remarkably quick. they were talking a month or more. Yeah,
Gundam
because
style.
of it being overseas. Yeah, but it got really so. What I purchased from the seller in United Kingdom, which his and I do check out all the sellers now. His was 99.6% positive, but he did have some negatives and neutrals. So I went ahead. I made the purchase to show good faith on my part, but then afterwards I sent him a message saying, hey, I purchased George Harrison Dark Horse Records t-shirt that you claim is official merchandise. And anyway, and then I read some not so great reviews afterwards. And I would just like your opinion. I'm not going to ask for my money back or anything, because if what you claim is true, then I'll have no problem with it, and I will give you a better than great review, which on all my eBay purchases, if it's at least what the seller claims that it is, then everything that they claimed, then I'm going to give them a very good review to help them out. Even if they did have some bad ones in the past, because it could be a good seller, and they're a fairly big company in the UK. Yeah. So, and just had a few dimwits that are mad at the world,
You build something electrical, and somebody in Britain buys it, and they're pissed off because it's not 220 volt. You're like, it's got a 110 plug. What were you expecting?
Jeez, I don't know. I bought a what is it? A morpher from one of my favorite. This is actually my favorite. This is a '90s kids thing. But when I was a kid, there was this thing called Power Rangers that was a big deal. So there was a season of Power Rangers called Time Force. It's my favorite season of all. Like, of all the series I've seen, that's my favorite season. So I bought a Chrono Morpher from Time Force, but I bought it from a dude overseas somewhere in Europe, I think it was. And it got to my house in a reasonable amount of time. And when I got it, like, I wanted to make sure it worked and stuff. Like, because he said in the description, he's like, lights and sound work. It doesn't have batteries, so you're going to need to put batteries in yourself. And I'm like, okay, well, that's understandable. So I popped this thing open. I'm like, okay, this thing's a little dirty. I got to clean it out. I did put the batteries in. Works fine. So, granted, this was years ago. This isn't recently, but I'm so happy I have my Chrono Morpher from Time Force, because Time Force is my favorite season of all from Power Rangers, respectively. So there you go, man. You make a good purchase from eBay, depending on who you get it from, and you end up with, some good times or good memories,
Well,
in this case.
Here's what I can't understand. You say eBay has quit taking payments through PayPal?
Yeah, they do not use PayPal service anymore.
Really?
Okay, they own PayPal.
Yeah, I was going to say they do, don't they?
Right, but they...
Yeah. That
is my understanding. They're going.
They invent PayPal.
The reason we have SpaceX and Tesla is because eBay bought PayPal. That's where Elon got his money, because Elon was a founder of PayPal.
Well, they bought it and they're not using it, so it'll probably end up in a rummage sale somewhere down the line.
I hope not, because that's what I use to.
That's what I use on eBay.
I'll put my PayPal on my MySpace page. And,
oh, geez, John. MySpace? Come on, man.
Oh, God.
I was going to say, that's going way back, John.
Well,
hey,
how
if you go to Internet Explorer and go to MySpace page, you can look at PayPal.
Fair enough.
Okay, quick question while I got both y'all, or while I got Bill and Ryan here. Okay, I'm going to read this real quick.
Oh, a question from one of our listeners? Fantastic.
No, it's a news story, but I'm reading it.
I'm kidding.
Neil Patrick Harris will be facing off against the Doctor in Doctor Who in 2023. Apparently, he's going to be playing a Doctor Who villain.
Okay.
In a reoccurring role. I'm thinking he might be something like the Master, but I'm not sure exactly who he's playing. But his quote is, "I'll try my hardest to do my worst."
That's basically him saying, "I'm going to do my best to play a really good
villain.
enemy type character."
He's going to try and be a dark villain.
Right.
Good for him. I mean, Neil Patrick Harris can do anything he sets his mind to. He's been doing it for over 40 years.
He's a 5-time Emmy winner.
There you go. I mean, his resume and his, what does he call it? His IMDb page speaks for itself. I mean, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie that he was in a couple years back. I don't know if anyone's seen this. Gone Girl with Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike, based on the best-selling novel of the same name. Has anyone seen that?
I've heard of it. No, I've not seen it.
He plays an ex-boyfriend of Rosamund Pike's character, who was married to Ben Affleck's character, in the film, right? Gone Girl, based on the best-selling novel. This performance by Neil Patrick Harris was, I mean, it was a really good performance. It was something a little bit different than what I'm used to him doing, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is the same dude who played Doogie Howser. Like this is some good acting range, dude. So if you haven't seen some of his scenes in Gone Girl before they get really violent, because there is a violent sequence that takes place later on in the film, but some of his early stuff in the film before it gets violent, it's really good acting. So I would invite you to look it up. It's called Gone Girl with Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike.
There's a movie, something like that. Of course, the movie's very dated now because it's called 1 Hour Photo.
Oh, with Robin Williams, yeah.
Robin Williams.
That's a creepy performance, though.
Yeah,
it's a great performance, but it's creepy as all get out.
I mean, I never pictured Robin Williams that evil.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was scary.
Great range, man.
Comedians make some of the best villains. That's just all there is to it.
Which is very true, John. It's just there are plenty of examples of that throughout Hollywood history. Just take a look at IMDb. There's probably a list of that.
Yeah, look at Jim Carrey. And Ryan's thinking, yeah, he's going to mention the Riddler. No, Cable Guy.
Well, I mean, listen.
Cable Guy was creepy.
I mean, listen, I grew up watching both Cable Guy and Batman Forever a lot as a kid, but one of his other serious performances are, well, Riddler wasn't serious. That was just but Jim Carrey
that was campy.
It was, but I still enjoy it, though, so give me a heart there. But I will say this, though. Jim Carrey, this is a film that gets thrown under the bus, and I don't know why, because I think this is a good film. He did a film called The Number 23, which is a psychological thriller with him and, what's the female actor? Virginia Madsen. There it is. So look up The Number 23. It was a New Line Cinema movie where he finds out that he becomes obsessed because he starts seeing the number 23 everywhere, and then he goes like into this crazy madness, dark territory in this film from New Line Cinema / Warner Brothers, because New Line Cinema is owned by Warner Brothers. So look up this film on HBO Max. I think it's a good watch. It's only an hour 35 minutes. It's not even that long of a movie. So if you're looking for one of Jim Carrey's more serious, darker performances, yes, The Cable Guy is a good example because that mixes drama and comedy. But look up The Number 23 because that's a good one too. Even though people throw it under the bus, which in some ways I can get, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like I'm the one who likes some of the movies that get thrown under the bus a lot. I feel like I'm in the minority that likes the bad stuff. I don't know. But then again, be it bad, good, it's all in the eye of the beholder.
When you were talking about Neil Patrick Harris going from Doogie Howser to all these great movies that he was,
I've seen Starship Troopers too.
I think the same way about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, he was young in Titanic. He was very good in it, but it just didn't quite do it for me as far as saying, oh, he's going to be a wonderful actor or whatever. And I saw the movie in the theater when it was out.
My heart will go on. Yeah.
But
Now, the best movie I think he's ever been in was Blood Diamond.
Dude, that movie is really good and underrated to a certain. I wouldn't say it's completely underrated because it did get 5 Oscar nominations, but at the same time, it's like not many people talk about that movie anymore.
It was. I don't know how popular it was. Sometimes even though something gets nominated for Academy
Awards, it's really good. Blood Diamond. I saw that movie and I was like, dude, this is one of the most serious roles I've seen Leo play, and it's like pretty darn spot on. Like, and also you have his co-star, which was played by Djimon Hounsou. Such good actors, and Jennifer Connelly was in that.
Yeah,
so good, man.
My all-time favorite Oh, go ahead, John.
Oh,
I was
another
just going
movie
to.
you go ahead, Bill.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, art superstar. What was it? Skunk with like a lot of the. What is that? Skunk with like a
Art
lot of the stuff
Linklater?
that you do.
What?
Right? Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No, I was just going to say very quickly that my favorite Leo film is The Aviator.
I don't like that
Partly
movie.
because it was about Howard Hughes, and he did it perfectly. As much as Johnny Depp did Hunter Thompson perfectly in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, I think DiCaprio did the equally as strange as Thompson, Howard Hughes's character in there, and then the love affair between Hughes and Katharine Hepburn, and then even after she had a thing with Spencer Tracy, and
Blanchett doing Katharine Hepburn.
yes, oh my God, spot on.
And speaking of the Romeo plus Juliet thing that
with him and Claire Danes.
With Claire Danes.
From Baz Luhrmann, yeah.
But I was just talking about comedians making the best villains. John Leguizamo played Tybalt, Prince of Cats, in that movie. He was the villain in the movie.
Oh, you mean Romeo and Juliet? Okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
He also played the villain in
Spawn.
Yeah, he was the villain in Spawn. If anyone wants to remember that comic book movie.
Yeah.
And
talking about bad comic book movies, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Hey, did you hear what George Clooney did?
Yeah, he got paid like $1 million per ice pun. I know.
Yeah. No. During filming, Schumacher was ready to kill him and Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger was giving out loaded cigars.
Oh man, love it. I love it. There's so much behind the scenes drama on the making of that film and the one that came out before that, Batman Forever. There was drama on set for that too.
Well, somehow Schwarzenegger got them mixed up right before shooting, and he's always had a cigar in his mouth.
Always.
Boom! He had black soot and tobacco all in that grease makeup.
That silver grease makeup he was wearing.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing this.
And then this was like
Remember this?
3 minutes to action.
Oh God.
So they had to stop, just stop everything so they could redo his makeup. But the scene, the climax scene at the end where they blew up the whole set.
Yeah, the telescope. Yeah.
Like, hey, we're not doing this in blackface. What's going on here?
Oh,
Well,
I did not hear this story.
Clooney found out that the Batman logo will go in upside down or right side up.
Mm-hmm.
After the scene was, Schumacher hollers cut, Clooney turns around, plugs it back in, and walks up to Joel and goes, "Joe, we got a problem." He goes, "What?" He goes, "We fucked up bad." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "They said Schumacher about passed out."
Oh man, I am so happy we don't talk about that. Well, that film anyway. Listen, I'm one of the few that will still defend Batman Forever. I know it's corny, but listen, as a 90s kid, and when you go back and watch the original 4 from Keaton and the other Batmans, to me, 89 and 95's Batman Forever are the two best out of the 4. Yeah. Batman Returns can take a jump off a cliff. Batman and Robin never happened, so I just don't care about either one of those two. But
hey, John, I got to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what?
I know what.
Yeah.
I know what. Sorry. You mean to go dancing off of the cliff there. Hi, Bob Ross. Good to see you, too.
It's mini Bob Ross, and I'll show you the painting that Bob's been working on with the happy little trees. Well, there's not any happy little trees in this one, but there is this.
The artwork of Bill Sarton, which you can follow right now on Facebook.com.
Now, technically,
sorry, it's crooked.
Wouldn't that be the artwork of Bob Ross, though?
No, it'd be the artwork of Bill Sarton. Which
Plagiarism.
You've never seen us both in the same place at the same time, so I'll just give you that to think
So
about.
if we shave Bob Ross, it's actually Bill Sartain.
hey, come on now.
I hide the afro very well under my back the blue cap here tonight. It just I tuck it in. I use a lot of safety pins and braids and all that. But
Okay, before we get out of here tonight,
Yes.
Brian, what are you doing and what can our fans look forward to on your pages?
Oh, that is a great question. First of all, it was great to be back and see mostly the original cast of this show. I know some of us couldn't be here tonight due to unforeseen circumstances, but you can find me on Facebook and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Twitter and Instagram, more specifically, at BrianRPM5. Check out my show on the weekends. It's called And I Quote on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We interview content creators of all shapes and sizes that join us from any and all corners of the nerd universe. And Chris Walker, your comments, my gosh, you may be right about something on that. But anyway, check out my show, and if you check out my link tree, you can find the links to all my shows, podcasts, and all the wonderful things that I do. And make sure you follow the artwork of Bill Sartain, because he does a great job of bringing back childhood memories, and there's something for everybody. So thanks for having me. Oh, and John, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Manamana.
Manamana.
do.
Manamana.
Thanks for having me,
Now
guys.
I'm going to have that earworm in my head all night long.
It was great to be here, though, guys. It's good to see everybody.
Hey,
Nice
Bill,
having you
See you
again.
too.
hey, before you leave, Ryan, I'm going to
Yes.
also give you a earworm.
Sure.
La na 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 na
Jesus.
na. La la da 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 da.
Mm.
Smurf.
I'd rather hear the John Williams Superman theme right about now.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Or that. That's fine, too. I grew up watching reruns of that as a
I
kid.
tried to do a Facebook story
Heroes on the
with
Half
my
Shell,
sketch
Turtle Power.
Mhm.
and
Yes,
that
you did.
song, and for some reason, Facebook stories messing up on the music, so I
Of
wasn't able
course,
to
'cause
do
it's,
it.
it's yeah, it's
Because it's John Williams?
copyrighted. Yeah.
No, that's why you can play the Superman. Well, didn't you play the animated series Superman theme when you posted the Superman one?
Oh no, I didn't do a Facebook story on that one. I did do the one for Batman, the animated series by Danny Elfman,
That was a
and
good
then I did one for Batman Beyond
Which
by
was another
whoever
good
that
one.
was by. Yeah, I don't recognize the name of the person, but I really dug the song when Batman Beyond came out.
It's a good one.
Very, very hard rock. And I don't have to tell anybody what I'm doing because Ryan's already done it for me. And once again, Ryan, thanks for sharing the stuff that you do. A lot of times I don't get a chance to jump in there and say thank you, but I do. So either on my personal page or my artwork page, you can see all that junk. And if you like really good cartoons like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Superman and all the other ones, go over to Every Day is Saturday Facebook group, join that group, and you could see the best of Saturday morning cartoons from the 1950s and sometimes before, all the way through the 80s, along with the best Saturday morning commercials, PSAs, and Schoolhouse Rock. Because
Hey, that's how I learned how to do my
Junction, what's your function?
Yeah.
Mhm.
because when your bodies get bigger, your mind must flower. It's great to learn because knowledge is power.
I don't think anyone else can top that, Bill. I don't think John or Joe's outros can top that.
And
Joe Dog's probably going to play the Benny Hill theme song, and we're all going to go running around chasing naked women or something.
Oh,
Montrose
jeez.
is asking, what am I watching? I'm watching
Kenobi.
Test Tank SN 7.1 being rolled to the launch pad for Test to Destruction Monday.
Huh.
Elon Musk is blowing up some more stainless steel.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. I don't follow current events. I'm sorry.
Apparently, he's actually built a test object
Has he?
to test a thinner stainless steel fuel tank, pressure tank. And if it works, it'll make his rocket 20% lighter or something.
Really?
Which, in rocket science.
It'll pull 25 tons off the weight of it.
Oh, that's something. Isn't
Think
it?
of all the Tarnax it'll
Yeah,
sell.
20. the thing is,
Ugh.
they're dropping 25 tons. Right now, it weighs 250.
Oh, so they're okay. Got it. It just computed in my mind.
Yeah, this is when he gets done with the super heavy thing. It's going to be the biggest rocket ever built. Bigger than the Saturn V that NASA sent to the moon.
Actually, when you stack the two together, if you hollowed them out, you could pack a Saturn V inside it.
That sounds about right, doesn't it?
It is.
Okay.
It could be a shipping container for a Saturn V.
That's a real trick, isn't it? Wow.
That's big.
It is, isn't it?
But the test tank they're going to be doing is about the thickness of a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to pressurize it to, I think, 10 bar, which is 10 times atmospheric pressure, which is 14 psi.
Which is even worse in space because it's a vacuum. And the pressure inside the tank would actually be putting more pressure on the tank. So.
Might not be such a good thing. Well, we shall see, won't we?
Yeah. And one more thing for you, Brian.
Once again, I'm not seeing these tonight for some reason.
Nah. You know what, Bill? It's because people would rather see
on
your
the
brand new sketches. That's what they want to see.
Bill, it's because God loves you.
That is true.
That's.
Oh, he's shielding me,
protecting you from the evil.
Don't look.
So he's doing right now. That's a good point, John. See, John's right some of the time.
I'm usually right.
I know. I know. I'm just messing with you.
I don't get enough credit for it, but I'm.
No, you don't because I don't know why.
I forgot our other intro.
Did you?
Yes.
See if I see this one.
I missed that.
Time to do some sketchy shit. Do-da, do-da. Hope I get away with it. Oh, do-da day.
Very true. Wow. Well, we
That
did
was
some.
so great.
We did some funny stuff tonight, but we also celebrated the greatness that is Jack Kirby and some current sketches by our good friend Bill Sarton. Which don't be surprised if Bill gets a lot of messages in the next couple of days for people to buy those prints because those are some darn good prints or sketches that you recently put out there, Bill.
If I'm sleeping, I'll ignore them. Oh
no, it's okay. I can always text you tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
Or on the weekend.
Joe Dog, that thing that you just played, where I always think of a teenage Chewbacca.
Laugh it up, Fuzzball. But you didn't see us alone in the South Passage. She expressed her true feelings for me.
One more thing. June 23rd and I think 27th, Ryan, G.I. Joe, the animated movie, is going to be in movie theaters, select movie theaters.
Oh.
The original Hasbro type production.
Yes. Yeah. The what was it? It was Marvel's. I'm trying to think of it. Sunbow Company.
Maybe I should check my local listings.
Yep.
Joe's telling you to wrap it up, John.
Yep, it's time.
Why is he telling me to wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
Because you haven't said what people can find you online yet.
Oh, that's wrap her up.
Yeah. With that, we got to say good night, everybody.
Live long
Bye,
and prosper.
con Dios, amigos.
Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.